Today has been somewhat busy. The duration of the busyness was not as long as yesterday, but it was just as intense in a shorter period of time. And the chief will give you some details on some actions they had to take today that they didn't have to take yesterday. Okay, Chief?
Well, good evening. As the mayor said, a little busier today than yesterday. Well, really not a little busier, but just one particular incident that pulled a lot of resources. At 4th and Prospect, we arrested approximately 17 persons, 2 for felony crimes, and the other 15 for misdemeanor crimes, ranging from failure to disperse to assault on a police officer. The individuals were basically taking over that intersection, blocking the entrance to the queue, to that secure area for delegates and other persons. And at the same time, they burned or attempted to burn an American flag, which is their right. But in doing so, the individual that actually lit the flag lit himself on fire, and then as we were trying to put him out and he's trying to push my officer away, he actually got a couple other people lit on fire, which we tried to put out too. So that turned into again, from our standpoint, an unlawful assembly and violence being perpetrated against an officer because they assaulted the officer trying to extinguish the flames. And we gave dispersal orders. They didn't disperse, so we ended up arresting 17. A few of those people actually left on their own when we gave the orders, and the ones that didn't leave were arrested. Everything else is relatively quiet. There are some groups out there that we're keeping tabs on because we know that they're trying to disrupt things at this convention. But we're on it. That's it.
Tomorrow being the last day,
Mhm.
you mentioned in this talk that things could be ramped up even more tomorrow. We heard that you all have confiscated bottles of urine, maybe blocks of wood. Can you confirm any of that, or have you?
I did get one report about confiscating something in bottles. I don't know what it was. I didn't go to see. But again, there are people that don't want to just protest, that don't want to get their message across so that people can hear their message and try to do something about it. There are people that their only reason for being here is disruption, disorder, chaos, hurting people and damaging property. And those are the people, those are the only people at this point that are giving us any kind of problem at all. Everybody else is protesting. They're doing it in a peaceful way. We're allowing them to do that. We're assisting them in doing that. And then there's one group that you all know who they are, that this is what they came for, and we're prepared for it.
So have you confiscated any type of item that they?
We've confiscated everything from gas masks to tent stakes to metal screws. I mean, you know, the gamut. Almost every prohibitive item we've confiscated. Yes, there.
We have some unconfirmed reports on our scanner of at least one delegate being pelted with paint. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't have any reports of that.
Chief, when you say that several people were lighted on fire, can you give details on that? And was anybody treated for burns?
You know, whatever they tried to do the flag with, as we were trying to extinguish it and they were trying to keep it away from, I think a couple people, their pants leg got on fire and we actually put those out.
Anyone treated for injuries? Burns?
Not that I know of right now, no. Yes, sir.
People are going to think they got arrested because they were burning an American flag.
No.
What was actually the charge?
No, the charge was assault on an officer because the officer tried to put it out when he saw people getting burned. And there were also counter demonstrators that were ready to attack the people that were lighting the flag on fire. And all those things are arrestable in that situation.
Chief, any specific weapons that were confiscated today?
Not that I know of, just some of the prohibited items. Yes, sir.
Do you have the names of the people that were arrested?
No, and we don't give names until we actually have people booked and charged. Yes, sir.
There was some discussion about some people thought a horse had trampled someone or anything like that.
No, I mean, if anybody, they probably almost trampled me because I was right there while they were trying to move the crowd back, so I had to get out of the way. But no, we didn't get any reports of that.
Okay, one follow-up. Can you explain the process outside the paddy wagon? You were booking the people that were arrested?
No, we weren't booking them. We were taking their information, we were taking photos, we were taking their property away from them before they got into the van. There's a process that we put in place for the RNC for arrest to make sure we follow so that we get everybody's arrest correct, we get their property correct, we get them photographed, and then we put them in the wagon and basically take them to be booked.
Chief said counter protesters were going to try to attack the flag burners. Can you talk about that a little bit?
No, not really. I mean, there are people on the corner that were basically saying, why are you guys doing this? And the whole area got kind of amped up when this happened. Yes, sir.
Can you just elaborate on the nature of the assault on the officer? Was it a shove or what?
The officer was assaulted. He was punched and he was pushed.
Was it just one?
Actually, two, yes.
Chief, was there any use of pepper spray by police officers?
No, nope.
Chief, how are police officers holding up? I know it's really hot out there. The wind's on.
Yeah, we're getting water and Gatorade and things like that to all of our officers. We have logistical people that are basically traveling around from site to site, making sure water is given out, making sure guys are properly hydrated and nourished. It is hot out there, and, you know, I had to go and take this stuff off and dripping wet because it's a hot day, but we're taking care of everybody.
What was sprayed? Was it a fire extinguisher, or your report something got sprayed?
Our officers had an extinguisher to actually put out the flames, yes,
Okay. And put out people who got caught on fire?
exactly.
Okay.
That was not.
Yes, sir.
Chief, what was the plan to deal with this going in? Obviously, you knew there was going to be a flag burn, you were keeping groups separated the entire time.
Right.
It started a little different, they kind of came out of nowhere with the T-shirts on. Just trying to
Right.
get these guys away from counter groups, or you actually going to try and stop?
Well, that's what we were trying to do. With the gentleman that supposedly was going to do it earlier, we were there, we had the fire department there to make sure people were safe, and we were going to let that gentleman do what he does, put it out after he's done, and get everybody out. We left. By the time I got back to the square, that's when this other group came in and did what they did and just created all kinds of panic and chaos. Yes, sir.
Chief, on these arrests, did you recover any type of weapons from the individuals that you arrested?
I'm not sure right now. Again, they were inventorying the property taken off those individuals.
And do you know how many others this group is connected with?
No, no, we don't know that, no. Yes, dear.
Were the people from Cleveland that were arrested or elsewhere?
I don't know yet. They're still in that booking, processing process, so once we get all that, we'll let you know. Go ahead, dear.
Just want to make sure that the misdemeanors they're going to be charged with incitement, not desecration.
Correct, correct.
How many arrests so far?
Total, 17 and 5. Do the math. What's that, real quick?
22.
22? 22.
Chief, do you have an idea of how many officers responded?
No, I mean, we had more than enough officers there to take care of it, and once things got calmed down, we sent everybody back to their patrols. Yes? Before? No, because they actually showed up, they did what they were going to do in a circle, and they started to burn the flag before officers could really kind of find out what was going on. Once we saw that and saw the person basically his pants catching on fire, we stepped in and tried to put it out. And that's when they got defensive, that's when they assaulted the officer, and things kind of escalated from there.
Would it be
Yes.
people who light anything on fire on the street like that?
Well, it depends. I mean, you can't, set a bonfire in the middle of a public street, but the flag, you can, according to what my legal team has told me, and according to the Constitution, you can legally burn that if you don't incite violence, incite that kind of stuff, or be a danger to other people while you're doing it.
This is described as swarm of reporters around the protest that arrived. Has the massive presence of media made that?
Our job's a lot more difficult? Yes, yes. Sorry, I mean, most of the time when we get there, we have 20 protesters. We probably have 80 people from the media there. And we're trying to separate out and get a handle on what's going on, and we have more media than protesters.
The two people charged with felonies, both felonies assaulting a police officer?
Yes.
And somebody mentioned incitement, and you said yes, Chief?
Yeah, it is a felony, automatically. I'm sorry?
Somebody back here mentioned incitement, and you said yes to charges. Can you be specific? What sort of incitement charges were these?
Did I say in, well,
I'm
the-
not here asking if it was incitement, and I think you said yes, and I don't know the charge here in Ohio.
inciting violence?
Inciting-
Violence, yes.
Have you been made
Hold
aware of any ramping up of protesters for tomorrow, the final day, or preparing for any ramping up of protesters, or is that?
No, and if I did, I really couldn't tell you guys here, but, I mean, we're out there, we're on top of everything. Our officers were actually following this group before they did what they did. I mean, we didn't know exactly what they were going to do, and so once they started that, once things started to ramp up, they called people in and we dealt with it.
Chief, we've heard some vendors, pop-up vendors have been ticketed.
Yes.
Can you tell us why, who these vendors are and how all that's?
I really couldn't. That's an assessment and licensing issue. There are certain zones set up for vendors, and if they're not in those zones, if they're elsewhere, then they could be cited.
Be permitted to, right?
Right. They have to get a permit, and they have to get a permit for a certain zone within downtown, and they have to stay in that zone. I guess people are moving more so to where they think they can do a better job, right, without a permit, without permission to move, and our assessments and licensing division probably can cite them for that. Tracy?
Chief, is that following up on that question, is that a security risk because the vendors have to go through a vetting process?
Not so much. I mean, you know, we have K-9 officers out there that kind of constantly sweep different areas for different things. So we just make sure that we get that done, and then it's up to assessments and licensing whether they want those people to move or they're going to cite them or what. Yes.
So I know we've kind of touched on this at every presser, so I apologize for the redundancy, but now that we're looking ahead to the last day, how do you think your training and your preparation for this has worked? What are your kind of thoughts over the past several days in dealing with different types of protests, types of scenarios? Kind of just give a take on how everything has worked out so far.
Well, again, you know, we've had 22 total arrests over the last 3 days. And actually, like I said before, our protest activity started about 4 or 5 days before the actual convention start. And we've had 22 people arrested so far. And right now, I think so far so good. We're still out there. We're still vigilant to make sure that we finish this day and the last day tomorrow on a positive note. And we're asking people out there, if you see something, say something, give us a call so that we can make sure we stay safe.
And they have been doing that.
Yes, and we have been getting dozens of calls from folks about things that look suspicious, both in the neighborhoods and downtown, and our officers immediately follow up on that. On my way in, I got a call about a box truck with some suspicious people in it and kind of looking around and driving around, and we checked the truck, they were cooperative, and everything checked out. Yes, sir.
Was it the Communist Revolutionary Party that you were following, that you were concerned?
I don't know who they were. They were a group that were, you know, doing some things that piqued people's interest. They let us know. We took a look at them. Yes, they were, so we kept tabs on them.
So if they hadn't set themselves on fire, they were just going to be allowed to burn the flag, and that was it, and you were...
It's not against the law. Right.
Chief, you've been making extensive use of video on your own. Can you tell us about that and what the goal has been in using that?
Well, I mean, we have cameras all over, and you guys provide another, I don't know, a few thousand cameras. Up and down the avenue, and then our officers are better able to respond by that video.
And to be able to account for what happened if we didn't.
Right, and of course, you know, it's archived so that later on when, you know, things go, whatever legal process, then we have that video to take a look at and fall back on.
Will you be riding bikes again tonight?
I won't be out tonight because I'm going to stay in this because this is already ruined, so, but tomorrow, all day, I'm going to be on the bike tomorrow.
Just to be clear, all 17 people arrested were involved in the protest, or were any like stragglers, media?
No, all involved in it. Right. Yes?
Do you know when the suspects will be arraigned?
That's not up to us. I mean, we'll get the reports done, we'll get the charging started, and then once they're charged, they'll be given a court date, and then they'll be arraigned in court, and then they'll go from there.
Our 48-hour policy applies.
For us, it's 24 hours for misdemeanors, 48 hours for felonies. Oh. They're okay. One Cleveland Police supervisor and one state trooper. They're okay. Minor bumps, bruises, but they're okay. Yes, Ohio State Highway Patrol. I'm sorry.
And all those arrested were all adults and juveniles.
I'm pretty sure they're all adults.
No one had to go to the hospital?
Not that I know of. I mean, we offer medical attention right there on the scene. We have medics that responded and ask some people, do you want to go to the hospital? Do you need treatment? We do that all the way up until time of booking. At booking, we'll ask them again if they need some type of medical attention, and if they do, then we'll provide that.
Anything else?
All right?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.